Flipped it back up. And there's that one from RK. Awesome. Now, we get back into this. Because there was a lot that needs to be, like, taken scene by scene, maybe joke-wise and everything. Is there anything that you want to start off with, like, looking into? Okay, well, first off, his cup just says thirsty boy. I also, one thing that I did notice at the start there, though, what, aside from that,
that
was, immediately burns his hands on the coffee, which just, given Fizzaroli's now confirmed backstory, just hits different now.
Yeah.
So there's that. But he just missed it all and just went for the frickin'... And that was another thing that I just realized as well. With the backstory as well. He doesn't have horns.
Mm-hmm.
Because I guess the explosion knocked those off too.
Yeah. Also, hi Dalton, I did see you earlier.
Yes.
Rise and shine, Ozzy.
Oh, again with the horn.
Again with the horns.
Blame me. Blame how fucking fun they are.
He's not wrong, like I said before. He's not wrong that the air horns are fun. I'll probably add those in the channel points as well.
That would be so annoying, just the first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd kill Raz if he did that.
Can we appreciate how beautifully animated and drawn this scene is? That is so...
This whole episode was beautifully drawn, and there was so much.
Yeah. I also don't like the... Fizz is getting tied to that every once in a while. I think they have that reserved on Tuesdays. Maybe. Call it a hunch, but yeah. I'm just gonna go kind of like skip through this like every 5 seconds until we see... skip through every 5 seconds until we see something. We see a caked up Osmodeus and Fizz really wanting to get in on that. God. Vizzy Pop, you knew exactly what everybody was going to be doing, and then you just full sent it. Full sent it. Right out of the gate. And can we just all appreciate, going back to episode 7 of season 1, Osmodeus' design. Freaking...
It is beautiful.
Basing it completely off of his, like, IRL sort of form, where Osmodeus literally did have 3 heads.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice that he has one main Goetia head, and then 2 others that are just kind of, like, shadowing in his mane. Or plumage, I guess, because he's a bird. So, we all can appreciate that. Continuing on with any other, like... Why is this dynamic just being, like... One just woke up, and one woke up and chose violence. Just immediately going for it. God.
To be honest, this is probably me and Raz.
That's true. That's true. Again, he's got a beautifully animated house. But then I guess being a Sin has those sort of perks.
Okay, but we saw a part of Beelzebub's house, and it was nowhere like this.
Yeah. Then again, he's running a business as well.
So is she. She makes Beelzejuice.
Yeah, he's kind of branching out though. He's got all sorts of different stuff.
Yeah.
He's more of the, from what I can tell as far as like Osmodeus, he does seem more of like a businessman. Mm-hmm. Which is saying a lot because we haven't even gotten to Maman yet, who would probably more or less be the businessman of Lucifer's Circus. God, even like the foreground is just like, look at this. It's so freaking...
I could understand why this episode took such a long time to come out.
Yeah. Even for like the 5 seconds you see this background stuff, it's still beautiful.
Wait,
to look
can
at.
you go back to what he tried to throw away into the
Oh, right.
trash?
Let's go. Let's.
Burger time! Burger time!
Yeah, what was he trying to hide? Oh, a hypocrite. Because it's
Breast
like,
implants?
okay, why are you looking over there when the war is front and center here? Okay, hold up. There's a lot that we could actually there's a lot that we could actually read as far as like jokes are concerned. So it's called Lustrin News. We have the horny.
Lust Ring News.
Okay, that's a G is supposed to be. Yeah, Lust Ring News. We have the horny. I wish I could read all the rest of this. God, it's all blurred out and everything. But yeah, I can't really read any of that, and this doesn't help your.
Study of sin of love, engage, something, canoodling with long business partner, physically ex-performer.
From the now disbanded. Oh, good. They hyphenated everything that was going to be blocked by his thumb. That's good to know. Ex-performer from the now disbanded All Im Circus. As well as the face and both everyone's favorite performer / companion bot. Mamon's favored something seems to have bedazzled our own Osmodius and has his sights set on something just his...
I said more on just his... Yeah.
Has his sights set on more than just his fat wallet. Or whatever. It's hard to read. But more than likely is like, yeah, everyone's starting to see like, does Osmodius have a thing for Fizzarali? And does that go against what Osmodius is all about? Because he does believe in love, specifically. He's all about lust, and consensual lust, for that matter. But again, I still love... Wait. Wally Wackford's wacky waving inflatable flailing tube sticks. It's just...
They look like condom with arms.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's exactly what the joke is. It's wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube men. But it's just dicks. So that's what was missing here. It's just like, oh look, it's Stolas and Blitz again, but this time it's a sin that's getting involved.
Yeah.
A Goetian sin. So we're gonna hide that real quick. But what was the front cover looking like? Royal Scandal Special. Shocking new photos emerge. Lust's eternal bachelor and Hell's most famous jester cohabiting. Heart hoarded by an imp. Royalty left reeling. And then a sexy crossword puzzle. So yeah, it's it is a double standard by the looks of things.
It is.
It is a very double standard for as free-spirited as you would think Hell would be, given that it's just basically just a lawless frontier. You would think that stigma like this would just be like, whatever. But nope, just like in real world.
You have standards, so...
The hierarchy is there.
Yeah.
And there's very much like a class system. Which again, you would think in Hell wouldn't exist. But I guess it just gets more reinforced in Hell.
Mm-hmm.
And Developy with the 69 bits. That's a choice number that you picked for a choice episode. Okay, so... Now, what was he pushing the rock out for? Oh no, it wasn't a rock. He was just... He was hucking the entire trash can out so there would be no opportunity for him to see that. Now see... Okay, now we get into like... Fruity, jumbo-sized, cage-free, I guess, firecock eggs. I'm just going to say cock because of course it would be. And then, of course, the aforementioned that I pointed out.
Juicy, 100%.
God, there's just so many innuendos in this.
Yeah, I know. I can pick up some more while I'm out today.
About that, you're still
So then skip ahead a little bit more.
Yeah.
See if there was anything else that was.
God, they're such a cute couple.
Yeah.
I like them better than like Stolitz and Blitz, and I love Stolitz and Blitz.
Yeah. I just look at this picture. 5'11" versus 6 foot. You've seen those memes before where it's
Yeah.
like there's a 1-inch difference but a completely different foot number that goes with it. God. I just like how they're just having a simple eggs and bacon
They're
for breakfast.
acting like a married couple, which is adorable.
Yeah, whether they realize it or not, they're perfect for each other, to be committed to each other. And I do like how at the end of the episode, Oz is just like, let's just do it. I'm not going to admit it, but I still kind of am. So, okay. So
This is such like me and Raz dynamic.
Yeah. So continuing on. It's just like I hit all the appropriate scenes and everything. Because it's like, I'll be inconspicuous, and he freaking murders a man the second he gets out here. I mean, if he...
Oh my god!
You didn't see this at all? You didn't see that at all? That was the first thing I noticed.
Okay, I saw the dildo cannons, obviously, but
You
I
didn't see them. You didn't see him spurting out there. God. And then I think one of the guys actually inhales either the confetti or one of the sperm and chokes and dies. Yep. And then dies. And then all of his little like bug chihuahua eat him. God, what a way to go. Choke on sperm confetti and then get freaking eaten by hell chihuahuas. One of them which is paralyzed.
Aww.
There was also something else I quickly noticed as well. A callback to the pilot. We have
Yeah.
the carriage that Luna punts into the sky when she needs to blow off some steam. I noticed that, but then what was what was Blitz getting kicked out of, if anything?
I don't know.
Oh. So yeah, he was just getting kicked out of something, but what was he?
Not my fault if you only know how to make coffee that tastes like piss.
Okay, he was just
Good
getting
coffee.
he was just getting coffee, and it's just a complete coincidence that the two of them run into each other, as fate would have it.
Oh, wow, looky who it is.
Oh, fuck. You again.
Stalking me now, huh?
Oh, don't fucking flatter yourself, clown. I have my own life, you know, without you in it.
Sure, Blitzo.
The O is silent now,
I was
bitch.
just pouring gasoline on a already lit fire.
Yeah, there was something I wanted to point out because you know me, and when I get into that rabbit hole of just like
Yeah.
overthinking things, murder drone style, I always find it funny that he says the O is silent. Why do you always have to write the O and then clarify it?
Yeah.
So I got to this theory that the O is symbolic of his past, and that he's trying to forget it. The past is silent to him, but it's still there. People are always going to dredge it up, and he can't let it go. He can't just simply stop writing the O. It's always going to be there. And thanks to this episode, kind of shedded some light on that. But what else? Was there anything in this scene specifically that we wanted to point out as well?
No, everything like moved too fast for me to be like.
Yeah. Just straight freight train, just knock him to his feet.
Why was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, hold on. So, a condom flew out of
Yeah.
Fitzgerald's pocket, and a stuffed horse flew out of Blitz's pocket.
I saw that.
That
I
makes
didn't see the condom. I saw the horse.
yeah, that's fair. But then one thing that I had always thought would happen
You say you're good?
was that
'Cause we
these
really
two
need a
would
big
meet face to face. I always thought that these two would work together. Like,
Probably.
Crimson needed a good assassin. What's a good shot of, like, just the two of them? Yeah, Crimson could use a good assassin, and Stryker can always use some work. I had originally thought that Crimson would set out to, like, find an assassin that would straight up kill Moxie. That was my original theory. And that Stryker, who has a more personal grudge against Moxie than he would Blitz, he would be like, you know what? I'll kill him for free. Because I have so much of a grudge against him. I also like how with Crimson's business, he's selling concrete shoes and they're on sale. God, that's... oh, boy.
This is probably where, because Crimson was like, I need you to prove yourself. So he knows, hey, he can't actually kill my son.
Yeah, probably.
Oil on the ropes just last week.
Sure, but not dead.
God, you
Laid
just...
him on the ropes last week, so Stolas recovered within a week.
I mean, you could chalk that up to, like, Goetian regeneration or whatever. Or, I guess...
mean, he was stabbed by a holy knife. I don't think you'd be able to regenerate like that.
Yeah, who knows about Goetian biology, or Helliverse biology for that matter, or Helliverse healthcare? Who knows? Or in the classic, like, classism system, because Stolas is rich, he gets the best.
Yeah.
I'm more curious, though, with the whole fallout of episode 4, with Stryker trying to kill Stolas. I was originally thinking that Stolas was going to Asmodeus for, like, help. Because, like, Stolas knows his wife wants him dead. He already knows the face of the imp that tried to kill him. Which I was wondering in the video call, Stolas sees Stryker there. I'm surprised there wasn't anything that was brought up about that. It's like, oh shoot, it's the imp that tried to kill me. Now he's trying to kill another person, now tied to a Goetia. But again, I had always theorized that Crimson and Stryker would work together to some capacity. Not like this. I didn't think they would be going after Blitz together first. I thought they'd be going after Moxie first together. But I guess perhaps... I guess Crimson...
It is a coincidence that...
Yeah. And I guess they weren't expecting Blitz to be there. I guess nobody expects Blitz to be anywhere. He just kind of shows up in the plot. So, as the main character of Helluva Boss, who's appeared in every single episode ever, he's just going to show up where the plot demands it. But I guess Crimson wouldn't go for Moxie immediately, just simply because of Mafia rules. Because if anything happens to Crimson, by law and rule, his entire empire goes to Moxie. Because he's his last heir.
Yeah.
And the fact that he hasn't remarried and had another child yet means Moxie can't die yet.
I wonder why hasn't he tried to remarry and have another kid?
I'm curious about that too. Maybe because his first wife was such a pain in the ass to him? With all this lovey-dovey care for his son business? I guess he just doesn't want to deal with that again because he's an asshole.
Maybe.
That would make sense to me, but rules would dictate if you're not on the best terms with your son and he's your only heir, probably should work on fixing that to a degree.
Yeah, but I don't think Crimson seems like the kind of guy that would have fixed that.
No, he seems like the kind of guy that would just be like, I'll deal with the problem the best way I know how, just shooting it in the head. Or having somebody else shoot them in the head for me. But it's... I guess, again, he just couldn't control his first wife, so he's just not even going to put in the time and the effort for another one. Perhaps. I don't know. Now, I want to... So, yeah, it turns out... I'm just skipping ahead because we know what all happens there. Oh, God.
Yeah. I want those candies. I'm gonna
course-
say it right now.
Of course
For
you
him,
would want
and
this.
I'm not sure if it's a mutual thing.
Well, I can tell you, if you're looking for a love potion, you came to the wrong fucking guy. I don't fuck with that artificial bullshit.
And who does go with that artificial bullshit?
I think he's just playing the part of he's the sin of lust.
Yeah, and he doesn't believe in love. But love finds a
He
way.
actually does.
Even if you're the sin of lust, love's gonna find its way into your heart, whether you want it to or not. So, then I do like how there was something on Twitter that I had seen where somebody had pointed out, referring to Val from the Angel Dust music video.
Mm-hmm.
How he's like all against, like, I just want what's mine and I don't care what anybody else thinks. They drew the comparison that at least Asmodeus has standards, and this is the scene that said it.
Shouldn't be about force. It's an art to be earned and enjoyed. It's all about that journey to
God. They have to sell those kinds of candies, and if they don't, then Vivzy Pop has a prime opportunity for some quick cash there. But there's just the fact that Asmodeus, even just being a full-fledged sin, has standards of being like, no, consent is super freaking important.
Mm-hmm.
If there is no consent, it doesn't mean anything anymore, and there has to be some meaning behind it. And also, it's just wrong. It's just morally wrong, ethically wrong, just wrong in every sense of the word. Love, lust doesn't matter. Consent is the important part. And it makes it all the more special.
pleasure time.
It's just, again,
Oh, no, never that.
never that. Stolas, we know what shit you're into. And that's basically everything. You're into literally everything. Your prolonged phone conversations of just, like, completely just off the rails debauchery.
Jelly sandwiches.
God. It was like, use while you and I are, and then just repeated censor words just all over the place. God, we know you too well, Stolas. You're into literally everything.
You see, this inn has a business he runs. He needs to access the mortal realm.
He just goes straight in for the candy.
I know your demons
Oh, he
are some
eats
of
that
the only
entire
ones who can
bowl.
traverse
Yeah.
legally and legally. I was wondering if you could assist me in finding a way he could too.
Oh, Stolas. My heart bleeds for you, but my partner.
And yeah, that's not his grimoire.
Partner.
That's not Stolas' grimoire.
Yeah,
that's
the book that
Asmodeus.
he opens up in season 2, episode 1,
Yeah, that's
where you see the Asmodeus crystals.
yeah. So it's like, and that's apparent, and we get those, and I guess Blitz gets a crystal for that. But then, what does that mean between Stolas and Blitz at the end? Because again, Blitz was only using Stolas for the grimoire. Now that he has an opportunity to not use the grimoire entirely, but has another alternative, what does that mean? But I guess hopefully there was like some sort of epiphany and be like, he's always calling me, he's always liking my posts and everything, because there's something there, Blitz. There's something there that you just don't want to get closer to.
I don't think Blitz feels like he deserves anything closer than being a booty call.
Or just, he doesn't deserve anything other than absolute misery. Like, he's not allowed to have anything good happen to him anymore.
Yeah.
I guess it's just like that own, like, self-masochistic nature, where it's just like, oh, woe is me, playing the victim the whole time. The world is against me, even though there's prime opportunities everywhere to do good. You don't want to get off of your quite literal pity pony of a sob story. Maybe that's why he's into horses. His little pity pony.
This partner, Fizzarelli, hates your imp guy, Blitzo, right? Yeah, hates.
He does? But why?
Not my story to tell, but
And we were all like, at that point, please tell. We'd love to know the story.
No, I'd love to know.
I'm all ears and everything and waiting for it. And can we all appreciate just how, like, Asmodeus getting angry just looks so freaking good.
Know me, but you don't need to. All you need to know is I have your little jester here with me. If you want him back alive, you will give me exactly what I want.
do you have any idea who you are?
He turns into fire. Oh my
think it's
god.
Yeah.
You probably just asked if I know who I'm dealing with.
And that just points out more to Crimson's character as well. He doesn't care who the he's dealing with. Whether it be a lowly imp, a Goetia, or even a frickin' Sin, doesn't give a shit. Because he's got this superiority complex to himself. But it's just like, I would think anybody in their right mind would not want to cross paths on the wrong path with a Sin.
Yeah.
You would think, but I guess Crimson just doesn't care to that.
And oh yes, I know. The weakest and most non-threatening of the Sins. The king who will do whatever it takes to save the worst-kept secret in all of hell. We both know you won't risk anything happening to the clown. So be a good little bitch boy and do the...
Cause see, this shot here, he stole his Sea Striker in this. He should be like, oh god, it's the imp that almost killed me. This is bad. This is very bad.
Yeah.
My lawyers will be over shortly with the contract of demands. You have until the witching hour to sign
Like,
it.
he looks concerned, but he's not gonna say anything.
Well, it's not his room to talk, because it's like, okay, this is strictly between Asmodeus and Crimson. I'm not going to say anything. This isn't anything that's got me to talk about. There's much...
Yeah, but then why would he stay
I guess
to
just
help us?
Goetian family stuff, I guess. And maybe Stolas is being like, if I help Asmodeus, he'll help me.
Maybe.
Clearly he needs help now, so I'm gonna stick around and see if I can help. And he most certainly does help. Even though it all just kind of doesn't mean anything when Fitzgerald just walks back. But still, the point is, I was there to help and I made things slightly better.
Now cut. I said cut it, you fucking...
And then, yeah. Doesn't matter if he's weak or not. Frickin' you don't cross a Sin. Okay, we're gonna pull it back, cause God.
That is
You.
pretty.
Again, we've only seen one Sin get a little bit peeved, and that was Beelzebub, and she just kind of grew bigger and got, like, bug eyes.
Got more insecty.
But here we get frickin' Flame on Asmodeus over here. Burning with passion and rage. More rage than passion, but burning nonetheless. And I love how the little top hat just remains completely unaffected. But even the other two faces are also raging and roaring and in unison. But it's just like that is just it's even such a beautiful like transition of just like him just roiling up. And it's nice that we do get like a continued roar and it doesn't just get cut off at the end there. We get like the full works. But now I think we need to get to the point where we get to well, this is
Beelzebub is Queen Bee, which is the sin of gluttony.
part of me would want to say that there was probably something interesting that was being said. What I think for what was happening right there, they were just arguing, just like nondescript, just back and forth, just picking each other's names.
As far as I'm concerned, you two are both embarrassments to our kind for meddling with blue bloods to begin with. But at least Loudmouth here has the sense to only fuck his rich bitch, instead of being a little purse dog.
Oh, great. The fucking supremacist is on my side. Wonderful.
Neither of you filthbags know what you're even talking about. If you think you are superior to anyone, then you are no better than any royal.
Don't you?
It's all about superiority. If you think you're better than anybody, then you're no better than a royalty. And I guess Stryker doesn't like being lauded with them. It's like reverse classism, I guess.
Dare finish that sentence, clown.
Hey, hick for hire! I said watch 'em, not fuck 'em. Keep your hands off the merchandise.
Can we also appreciate the fact that both Crimson and Stryker both have the same gold tooth in the same location? They were made for each other. They better start f***ing each other. If there's a ship that needs to be set sail, it's not freaking Luna and Octavia. It's Crimson.
Swings that way since he was making fun of Moxie.
But maybe Moxie planted the seed. You know, dudes are okay. Also, like how the little head here's sad too, or just tired. With Asmodeus as well.
Can I just sign it already? Like, can we move this along?
Sire, you need to know the contents of this contract.
I
You can't
love
just
that voice
sign it.
actor.
A deal
Yeah.
made with this
Which one, Asmodeus or Stolas?
Osmodeus.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan as well. And again, they never miss a beat to have like head 2 and head 3 mimic the main head as well. I love that it's that attention to detail that sells this frickin' show.
like yourself, would be everlastingly binding. Perhaps I can look it over. I'm a fast reader.
It just catches everything.
This is a contract giving Crimson all of Ozzy's factory assets and giving him permission to use Fizzarolli's head for a wall decoration.
Ooh.
Just making
Wait,
sure you're
what?
paying attention. Here's the real contract.
It was about to... God. Me when I'm thinking of my crazy murder drone theories. You. I'm Stolas with my crazy murder drone theories. You're Asmodeus just looking on in abstract horror. That's a dynamic. And just like, I was just making sure you were reading that contract. Here's the real one. So he was almost ready to sign a fake contract that just said, here's everything and I get everything I wanted, you. And then Stolas is like, ooh, more paperwork. I'm all for this. And just, if I remember correctly, his shift to just be like, oh my gosh.
Oh, this will be fun. I love words.
Okay, no, he just gets angry. Forgot. Okay, now we get to the actual meat and potatoes here.
Danger! Well, good to know you're still a wimpy circus puss.
I'd give you a comeback, but that'd imply I'd give a shit what you think.
You always cared what I thought.
Oh, after what you did to me.
I didn't do anything. It was an accident.
An accident?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? You always had it out for me because people liked me
Him being
better.
talented
You wanted
and
me
cool,
gone.
Yeah.
And the
Then
thing,
he's-
it's like, it's two sides to a story. And Fizzarolli's only ever seen one. And Blitz never got to say his side because it was just like mutually understood. I hate him. He hates me. I hate him. He hates me.
Okay, it's Fizzarolli's birthday. And, like,
Yeah.
I
But-
have...
Yeah. Keep going. Keep going.
I was gonna say, you see Buxo there, and I feel like Buxo never celebrated
Blitz's death.
Blitz's birthday.
I mean, he was
He
what?
might have celebrated Barbie's birthday, and they are twins, but it was mainly this
Barbie's.
is Barbie's party.
Yeah, it's Barbie's birthday. Blitz just so happens to have been born the same time. Whatever. We all agree Buxo is an asshole, too.
Yeah.
An asshole that's voiced by the same voice actor as Paimon, who is the same voice actor as Jafar in the original Aladdin movies. We don't talk about that stuff. We don't talk about that at all, Al. Yeah.
Like how we don't talk about how and Angel Dust has the
Same voice actor, too. God. But again, when we get back to this scene again, we see it from Blitz's perspective. It takes a different turn. Like, there's two sides to every story.
Yeah.
And there's a truth that lies in the middle between both of them.
Because you were jealous.
Okay, what did the card say?
Had it out for me because
Hang
people
on.
liked me better. You wanted me gone.
Wish you were my son. There's the dynamic right freaking there. We want to sell it hard. There it is. Frickin' yup. It is Barbie's birthday. It is never Blitz's birthday.
Yeah.
God, Boxo, you are just the worst. Who takes the cake of worst dad? Paimon, Boxo, or Crimson? I think they all tie for first.
I think Paimon isn't that bad of a dad compared to Buxo and Crimson.
Because I guess, yeah, Paimon does
Like,
actually...
he is a bad dad, don't get me wrong.
But he still cares about his son. Whichever one it is that he has to deal with on that day.
Yeah.
He at least still cares about him enough to talk to them. Not sell them for a 1-up-5 and a slim fit condom. Or freaking want to kill them. So, at least there's that.
Because you were jealous, just wanting the spotlight. I looked up to you. I thought you were my best friend. You ruined my life. And then you just left me. I lost.
So yeah, he lost his horns as well.
Yeah, his horns.
His horns were completely blown up. His legs are completely destroyed. His arms are going to go in a few seconds. And then you just have this shot of what Fizzarelli thought Blitz was looking like when everything went down.
It's because of you, and you selfish piece of shit. You didn't even care. I did
See the
care.
bone in there. Oh,
Yeah,
I
and
don't
then-
like that.
Yeah, hang on. Because, yeah, it's like even... It was burning away his horns. Like, his horns wouldn't be able to regenerate from this if they even could. Because it's just being soldered away. God. And all these scenes just happen so freaking fast.
I know.
If we could just take some time to slow things down and get a good look at what's happening, it would be much appreciated.
I lost so much because of you, and you selfish piece of shit.
Yeah, it's just like everything's just melting away. Because that's not just normal fire, that's more
No,
probably hellfire,
yeah.
which burns different.
Which is why regular earth fire doesn't do anything to imps, but hellfire can really fuck them up.
Yeah. It's just literally melting into tar.
You didn't even care.
I did care! It was an accident. It was. Okay, you're right.
It's like this whole scene was just like, okay, don't interrupt anymore. We need to know this stuff.
Yeah.
Don't keep shooting and then just be like, oh, now we're never going to get that resolved because the plot needs to progress. It's like, no, this is the plot. We need this.
It was all my fault, okay? I should have done more to help. I was trying. There was so much going on. I was trying to get help, Fizz.
What was the help that he was trying to get?
It was still my fault.
Glad you can admit it. Want a medal?
Look, I'm sorry, Fizz.
He actually
I'm
apologizes.
So sorry.
Now hold up that letter that he had.
I'm sorry, Fizz.
What does that say?
Fizz's eyes only. And he has the same exact flower from the flower vase that was on Stolas's bedside. I just want to point that one out too. So there was probably some... I don't know if that was like... Did Blitz have like feelings for Fizz? And wanted to admit it? But just couldn't? Because the heart would suggest that this has some sort of sentimental meaning to it.
Yeah.
There's something there. It might have been a confession of sorts.
Maybe.
Because again, for Fizz's eyes only. And then,
I am so sorry that you got so hurt.
again, complete accident.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for what you lost.
And I know I can never make that right.
But you have no idea what I lost
His
in that.
mom's camp or
Yeah.
tent.
So I think this more or less confirms it. Blitz accidentally killed his mom,
Yeah.
which is
and-
why Barbie hates him. Wants nothing to do with him. But this is the first time he's actually admitting it to anybody. So, and actually sort of taking responsibility.
Yeah. Even though it is too late, the damage has already done. At least he could like acknowledge it and start to heal from it.
Yeah,
and start
but-
to put the pieces of his life back together
But
as best as he could.
yeah, but it's just like he keeps falling backward. He just refuses to admit that he did anything wrong, that anything was his fault. And the first part of emotionally and mentally healing against trauma and tragedy is to admit things. Like, admit fault if you were, in fact, partially, or in this case, fully, inadvertently responsible. As one would say, the truth sets you free, and
Yeah.
being shackled to Stolas doesn't really help you in that regard either, I guess. This was what we were all waiting for. We needed this one moment of just Blitz finally admitting fault to anything, for that matter. And it just so happens he's admitting fault to the biggest mistake he ever made, to the one person that's still alive, that's not his family, that was mortally affected by it.
Fire. I mean, it's all my fault. I'd hate me too.
That right there. I'd hate me too. That just hits hard. Where it's
You see that he does. If you look back into his apartment, every one of his pictures of him is just crossed out.
because he
Like
hates
he hates himself.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it if their mirror in the bathroom is broken.
Because can he even stand to look at himself? God, it's just everywhere you turn, it's just like you want to see this asshole just heal.
Yeah.
You want to see him be happy, even though you get a kick out of him just being miserable. But you get a kick out of it for comedy effects. When it's this kind of stuff that's making him miserable, you just want to give him a freaking hug. You just want to say, it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. Just talk. Just freaking talk, dude. That's what we all want to see. But it's just like... Because again,
I don't think there would be anyone else that he could talk to about it.
No, this is literally the only one that he can really talk about this stuff to. I mean, I guess you could say
He
there
could
was...
have tried with Barbie, but Barb didn't want anything to do with him.
I was about to say, there was an attempt with Barbie, and it failed miserably. Like, he never got to the point or got her into a situation where they could honestly talk. Here, there's a literary trope that's more or less done with, like, characters who are classified as loners called What You Are in the Dark. And it's this idea that a character can be their true selves when no one else is watching or when they are truly alone. That can kind of happen, and I can see it happening here, when you're allowing your own defenses to come down to show your true self to the only person who has seen your true self. You could just take your walls down. You can just be brutally honest. You show who you are, that you've only ever shown to the dark, essentially. Which is like how Stolas is, like, reminiscing in episode 1 of this season, when he's just singing about his feelings and everything. And there are these... Every character kind of deserves that moment in the dark. And this, aside from episode 7's Alone in the Dark scene with him in the apartment going through his phone, that was his first alone in the dark. Here we have his second. He just so happens to not be as alone. But the point is still there. He's allowing his own true self to come out. And God, there's this other reactor that I've watched their Helluva Boss reactions to. Nevaeh Sewell, I think is her name. But they pointed out this whole idea that it's like, take it for a series taking place in hell to showcase the worst parts of ourselves and allowing us to confront those worst aspects. And I felt like that is such a poignant comparison to be made. Because this is like, again, never in a million years would I think a show like this would ever make me feel anything remotely like what I'm feeling right now. In any way, shape, or form would I have thought this would actually have any sort of meat and feeling to it.
I told you so.
I won't refute it. As I've always said before, I love being proven wrong, because then it lets me learn. So I will wholeheartedly accept that, yes, you did in fact tell me so, and you financially held me hostage for that. So, God, this episode was worth the wait.
It was such a good episode. This actually has to be my favorite episode so far.
This is one of my favorite episodes, yeah. But now, there was one other thing that I wanted to bring up, and I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to
No, go on.
look into, like, that you saw joke-wise or scene-wise or whatever.
Other than the song.
The song just, like, there is so much happening in that. That almost just, like, warrants, like, a rewatch in and of itself. That's just, like, we could do an entire separate video just dissecting this song in and of itself, which is not even like any sort of like substantial character development or anything, but just the jokes. Just the jokes in and of itself is what we would be looking into. But there was one thing that I wanted to bring up, and that was, again, almost history repeating itself again. And that, are we going to see some new burn scars on a now even crazier Striker?
Probably.
Because, I mean, he's flailing around like a rabid animal
Well,
after this.
well, Soy Boy, you should be the one to know what happens with Hellfire. You can't put it out.
That's true. But again, it's just like, others were just like, oh gosh, I'm on fire. But he's just, and Striker's supposed to be like the composed one. The hardened badass won't take any shit from anybody. And here he is just squirming around on the ground.
And he scuttles away.
Yeah. So you wonder what he's going to be feeling the next time we see him. He may just simply be striking out on his own and just being like, you know what? I'm just killing everybody in IMP. And then I'm going to kill everybody in the Goetias. And you know what? I'm just going to go after the Sins. Because screw it. I've completely lost my mind. I'm completely lost my marbles. I've gone cuckoo bananas, as one would say. Which only begs the question, how would this character have worked if he was still being voiced by Norman Reedus? Like, if he still had his Season 1 voice. How would that translate? How would that translate? But instead we get Striker being voiced by Alistair. So, but which is fine and everything. But you just can't help but wonder, in an alternate universe, if the money stuck around and the legalese was still workable.
Yeah.
How would it all have gone down? Would we get basically a different Striker or whatever? But it's just, again, Blitz is actually able to put his circus skills to good use to save Fizz. Can we all appreciate how freaking strong Imp Tails are?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're able to freaking pick other people up and chuck them against walls. Or in this case, hold other people up who have mechanical bits to them, so they probably weigh a little bit more. Also, we got another Maman here. Maman's clown pet beat their cunts. God. Hopefully we get to see him sometime soon. Because he takes this whole, by the looks of things, he takes this whole circus routine that Lucifer's got going here in hell and I guess amps it up to 11. Perhaps. And also just having, like, the sin of greed being shown. Any sin in general. I'm still waiting on to see what Satan looks like, because we keep... Satan, damn it!
I also want to see how, like, of Leviathan and Belphegor look like.
We just want to see the other sins. Let's be honest. We just want to see the other sins, please.
I would also love to see, like, how Lucifer interacts with the other sins, too.
Yeah, like, how does he... Because, again, with only Has Been Hotel and showing his silhouette as, like, a live feed of him, he's just sitting there with glowing eyes, and you're like, oh, he's going to be super imposing, super powerful and everything. And then you look into the wiki, and it's like, they're looking to have him be voiced by Weird Al Yankovic, and he's into polka music. So, is he really going to be that, like, intimidating, or is that the part where it's like, oh, he isn't intimidating at all? He's actually really jovial and funny and very slapsticky. That should be the terrifying part. Because his jokey, campy, silly man is the fallen angel that rules hell. That should be the terrifying part. If he was scary and all-powerful, that would just be par for the course. But if he's not, well, then we're all on the back foot now. But I feel like we're not going to see Lucifer in Helluva Boss. I feel as though he's more reserved.
He's going to be a...
He's a has-been sin.
Has-been, yeah.
That makes more sense. Maybe just like a cameo here, but nothing of substance in here, unlike Has Been Hotel, which more than likely should have Lucifer Prime and Center. So...
Also, I kind of wanted to talk about how messed up it would be for Asmodeus just keep Viserali trapped in the palace. Like, that screams, like, major Beauty and the Beast vibes.
Yeah. Maybe it's just, like, overprotective, just being like, I care about you a lot. I don't want to see you hurt. He even said, you're not leaving this house without security. So... It's still like, you can still go out. I'm going to have somebody follow you because look what happened the last time you went out on your own. And I warned you about going out on your own. And then this all happened. And then season 2, episode 6 happens, as we'll point out. So I think you could safely say Asmodeus is very much in the right when he says, you're not leaving without security. Because we have a prime example of what happens when you don't. Even though, let's be honest, Blitz kind of instigates that entire thing.
Well,
just simply being there at the wrong time.
Come on.
Yeah. But again, it wouldn't have happened if Blitz just wasn't there. Getting coffee in the greed circle at that specific coffee shop at that specific time. Let's be honest. This whole thing was one massive coincidence.
Yeah.
And then having a street brawl in front of a meeting between Stryker and Crimson, who both have beef with Blitz, specifically, and Viserali just so happens to be caught up in it. But again, it's just like... Again, you can see Asmodeus be like, no, I'm not leaving you alone anymore. I care about you too much. So...
Yeah.
The fact that the security and the protectiveness is coming from a sense of care makes it a lot more easy to understand and side with. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
He snores like an owl. God. and the witching hour, and he's still going through.
I'm going to fucking end your life. Fizzy.
And I'm trying to figure out what did they do? What did they do to this man? They literally his brains out. What do they do? What do they do to that poor man? And see, that's not lust.
so
That's love right there, boys and girls, and those of indeterminate genders. Whether you will admit it or not, Ozzy, you love him, don't you? You care about him way too much just to have a lust thing going on.
No, Osmodeus knows that he loves him, okay? But he's
Just doesn't
playing
want
the
to
part
win.
of, like, playing to the public, like, oh, we're just
Yeah.
business partners.
Yeah, on occasion. And again, the little heads are happy. Yay! He's trying. Yeah, like I said, he had a dildo in there.
Get fucked, little one.
And yeah, again, what did they do to this poor man?
Oh, my shape!
Seriously, they don't give you any indication what they did to that man. But maybe that's the allure of a sin's true power. You don't want to know what they did to that man.
I'm so
Or maybe we do see, because there's literal blood on his hands. And on the door handle there, too. So, I don't
And he's also wiping off some, what could be blue
Yeah.
blood.
Yeah. Or, like, shark blood. So. And again, the little heads. Look at them. There's got to be, like, some dedicated person on the team that's just be like, okay, as designated as Osmodeus head watcher. Just be like, okay, are the heads interacting the appropriate way?
glad you're okay, babe. You ain't never leaving the palace without.
Okay, hang on a minute. I just wanted to see the
So
door
glad you're okay, babe.
on this side.
You ain't.
So he closes the door. Okay, there's nothing. I didn't know if, like, there were...
Two different heads.
I knew that. I just didn't know if there was going to be, like, any gore or splatter on the door that we were missing.
Never leaving the palace without protection again.
And then again.
Oz, you know there's eyes around.
I know. I don't care.
I don't care.
They know if
And
they
then this
tell
part-
anyone, I'll.
I'll break
Oh,
them.
that was... Oh,
You didn't see that? You didn't see that? That's why I was like, ooh!
They know
I
if they
did
tell
not.
anyone, I'll.
Oh, fizz! Ooh! God. Jeez. Just his voice when he says, I'll break them.
I know. I don't care. Because they know if they tell anyone, I'll.
Yeah, we're gonna go!
Don't worry. Today I learned that I hate.
Wait. Warp your wood. Safety lessons with Johnson. God. So many puns, innuendos. Just friggin'. God damn.
Going outside.
authorized for snow only.
You won't
Yeah.
have to again.
I'm sorry, I got a little messy.
You don't need to apologize for getting banged up, babe. I'm just sorry I couldn't be there.
A safe workplace and it's just a dick with a hard hat. And he's got all these different implements everywhere. God. So yeah, I guess he's putting those BDSM skills to good use, making prosthetics of all kinds. Which makes sense for his character too.
Guess I'm just not used to this kind of thing.
It's been an intense day. Just take it easy, okay?
Oh, it's fine. I'm fine, really. You know I bounce back fast. Oh.
All
now-
sexy words.
Well, it's just a safe workspace is a sexy workspace.
Oh.
That's the continuation of that poster there. God. Even for like the jokes that just get cut off at the end, it's just like sticks. God.
So, besides my whole scary hostage thing, how was your day?
Well, I was stuck with Stolas the whole time. Who, by the way,
Okay, that's
asked
true.
me to give him one of my crystals as a gift for that guy you hate. So, I told him no.
You look so proud.
Wait, yeah, I was just about to say.
I told him no.
When you tell a joke and it doesn't land. God.
Fuck it. Let him have it.
Excuse me?
Yeah, why not? You could say he earned it.
All right then. Anything for you.
Ooh, that voice.
I was hoping that like he accidentally put the wrong arm on, so he has like two left arms now. I was kind of hoping for that joke to sort of say it's like, oops, wrong one. But that works too. He knows which ones to put on. But again, you bring up that idea, and also don't look in the foreground of that. You look at.
What do you think it is?
Yeah, so you can't help but wonder, now that this Asmodeus crystal is in play, what does that mean between Blitz and Stolas?
Well,
I mean,
Stolas-
yeah, Stolas is the one that's advocating for this, but what's his end game
Stolas
for
doesn't
that?
want Blitz to feel like
Tied
he's
down?
tied to Stolas.
Yeah.
Just for the book. Like, Stolas wants Blitz to realize, like, hey, I want to be something other than...
Yeah, that's true. Give him some independence. Not have him be just his little impish
have it
plaything.
be a choice for him to be around.
Yeah,
Rather than an obligation.
right. I just want, though, now that we had Blitz and Fizz talk to each other, having a full-on heart-to-heart, now we just need frickin' Blitz and Stolas to sit down and have a full-on heart-to-heart. Just being like, what are we? Where do we go from this? Do we want this? And if so, how are we going to make this work? But maybe now that the seed of, like, ignore the classism bit has been planted between Asmodeus and Fizz, maybe you got an ally in that sort of argument there. Perhaps. Aside from that, I really don't have anything more to talk about with this episode, unless you have something that needs to
I don't have anything.
be brought up or anything. But all in all, superb episode. Leaps and bounds better than, no offense to episode 5, but leaps and bounds.
No.
Like, superseding everything that was going on with that one. It was let's be honest, every show has their like uncomfortable episode to sit through. That was Helluva Boss's uncomfortable episode to sit through. And this was a wonderful palate cleanser because it finally just like, people are getting out of their shells. Blitz especially is the one that's getting out of his shell now. And that he's finally talked to somebody about something that supremely hurts him. It's all going to keep escalating from that point. Who's he going to talk to next about something that happened? Although,
Go ahead.
You go ahead.
I was gonna say, I hope they don't just ignore, like, this character development for Blitz and just have him be a regular asshole coming up in the future.
I hope this lasts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this has ramifications that will lead into further episodes. Maybe now that he's opened up a little bit, maybe he can try again with Barbie. Maybe he can try again. Maybe he can try with Stolas.
Maybe he could try to convince Fizz to talk to Barbie and let Barbie, hear him out.
Yeah, maybe like Fizz being like a third wheel. Just
Or
being like
the,
a mediator.
yeah.
Just being like, he needs to talk. Just listen to him. I listen to him. You would benefit to listen to this as well. But maybe Barbie knows and Barbie just doesn't care. Who knows? I don't know, but talking always helps. You got to air this stuff out in order for people to understand and heal more so than anything else. But aside from that, we've got like a little bit of history, a little bit of lore that was concerning Blitz. I still want to see like an Eminem origin episode.
Yeah, I would.
How did Millie and Moxie first meet? How did they fall in love, and how did they get married, and how did they meet Blitz? We know how Moxie and Blitz met, but was Moxie already? Well, no, he wasn't already married to Millie because Chaz threw him under the bus, and that's how they. He hadn't met Millie yet, so it's just like, was Moxie already employed at IMP, and then met Millie, or was that later?
Was Millie already employed, and then Moxie came in as a new
hire? Did they fall in love that way? And that's why Blitz is much more invested, because he quote unquote set them up. He can play the uncle. And that's why he's so invested in the relationship, not just simply because it's a relationship that he's witnessing, but one that he actually has a hand in creating. And he takes pride in that, given the fact that he works in the Pride Ring, so that kind of fits. Who knows? Only time will tell. But either way, I think this is a good point to end it on. A wonderful episode, wonderful discussion, hella hilarious jokes to be had all around, and feelings to be had as well. So I think we'll leave it there as far as the discussion is concerned. Post in the comments what you thought about this episode and what you're thinking about it. Thank you, much appreciated, Myna, for not only joining me here, but also being the reason why I'm watching this show in the first place. So I have you to thank for that.
You're welcome.
So we will leave it at that, guys. Thank you all for stopping by and giving this a watch. And for those that were catching the live stream, thank you for tuning in and everything. We'll see you guys when we see you guys. And as always, toodles.
Bye.